It was a quiet afternoon, and I was playing with my toy cars when I suddenly heard a banging noise and thought it was my little brother. I kept playing, but 1 minute later, I heard the banging again. This time, I looked at my little brother, and the noise wasn't coming from him. I quickly grabbed him and pulled him away from his toys. Holding him close, I pressed my back against the wall. I could feel him shaking with fear, his chest breathing heavily. I had to stay calm. I had to figure out what was making the noise. The loud banging was coming from our bedroom window. It had to be the wind hitting the shutters. Or maybe a cat. I told my brother to stay where he was while I walked toward the window. That's when I saw him. A long-bearded, gray-haired man was staring at me with a creepy smile and missing teeth. His skin looked like it hadn't seen soap in weeks, dark and crusted like a dried-up riverbed. He didn't say a word. He just pointed at the window lock, as if he wanted me to open it for him. I didn't know what to do. Maybe he was just a homeless person, asking for help? I looked at my brother. He shook his head silently. I looked back at the man and shook my head, saying no. Then, without warning, he squinted his eyes, threw his shoulder into the window, and tried to smash it. I screamed, telling my brother to grab the phone and call the police. "Stop!" I shouted at my brother. But then the man held a knife beside his head and locked eyes with me. I understood what he meant without him even moving his lips. He dragged the knife across his throat, slowly turning his gaze to my little brother. He was telling me that he would hurt both of us. I could feel the cold knife against my neck. His intentions were clear. He wanted to hurt us, and every muscle in my body froze. I couldn't breathe or make a sound, but I knew we had to get out of there. I grabbed my brother by the arm and told him to run upstairs to Mom. Mom didn't believe us. She thought we were playing a game or imagining things like every older kid with their younger sibling does. But we weren't lying. And for all we knew, the man was already inside the house. We begged her to believe us, and when she saw how terrified we were, she finally got out of bed and walked toward our bedroom window. The banging grew louder the closer she got. She stood in the doorway of my room, not daring to take another step. I knew she could see him too. Even though I already remembered what he looked like, I had to see his face again to know this was real. I peeked out of the side of the room, and there he was. This time he was telling my mom not to do anything or he'd hurt us all. My mom could see that he wasn't afraid. If we didn't do what he said, we'd be dead. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw my uncle walk in with his headphones on. He wasn't the strongest guy, but he used to wrestle and knew how to fight. Running to him, my mom wiped the tears from her eyes and quickly told him about the crazy man outside our window. Just as she finished, we heard a loud scream from the hallway. I looked at the window again to see if the man was still out there, but he wasn't. He was inside. Get inside the bathroom, lock the door, and call the police. "Don't open this door until you're sure it's the police," my uncle told my mom. As she closed the door, I saw my uncle walk toward the stranger in our home. We heard loud bangs, grunts, screams, and things being thrown around. We couldn't tell if it was my uncle or the man. As much as we wanted to help, opening the door could put all of us in danger. All we could do was wait. It took nearly an hour for the police to arrive. We heard them yell at someone to stop. My mom opened the door, and as we came out, we saw my uncle on top of the crazy guy beating him up. The police had to pull my uncle off of him because he wouldn't stop. I thought the man would be hurt, but he wasn't. He was still aggressive, even with the police holding him down. It was like he didn't feel anything. After a while, they were able to cuff him and take him away. A few days later, the police told us the man had mental health issues and was sent to a facility. I don't want to say he was a psychopath, but the way he didn't seem to feel any pain and the way he enjoyed scaring us made me think he might be. They never told us if he had done anything like this before. Judging by that night, though, I'd say it wasn't his first attempt. I always felt safe in my home, but after that night, I'm not so sure anymore.